Them guys don't understand. They do that on the club level fight. Opponents, they say, yo, I don't want to get knocked out by this guy, so I'm going to come in heavy. They're going to need to fight because they got to take the fight because they can kind of get the numbers. That's what they do on the lower end. But now, they flipping the strip and doing it on the high end. You know what I'm saying? So that practice, you will start seeing that a lot now. But how we doing it now?
No, it wasn't like he put a whole bunch. They only found specks of that shit.
No. He bad.
Javant Davis's situation has worsened significantly, shifting from a controversial draw in his last fight to now facing a shocking accusation from his own trainer. Calvin Ford has alleged that Davis has been using performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, a claim that is particularly stunning given Davis's numerous victories. Possibility that he may have been taking PEDs undetected by boxing's governing bodies raises serious concerns. What makes this revelation even more surprising is that it comes from Ford himself, seemingly stemming from an incident between him and Davis following Tank's fight against Lamont Roach.
Cal, you guys calm down and listen to me.
Hey, come on now.
We're trying to get it.
There you go. That's what they do.
Tank had never fought a single bout without Calvin Ford in his corner since
He just went down. He just, like you said, kept going. We looked at 3 rounds. Brian was calling on yo.
It happened for the first time last week, and the result was evident for all to see. However, what stood out even more was Tank's behavior toward Calvin Ford, disrespecting his coach for no apparent reason. During one of the later rounds, when Ford advised Javant Davis to be more cautious, Davis abruptly yelled, "Calvin, calm down and listen to me." This outburst was widely considered rude within the boxing community. Many fans expressed sympathy for Ford, with one
as someone that's had Tank since basically he was a pup and you've raised him as a boxer and a man, what would you like to see?
About it. He made me do it. They start to see. Promoters know these things. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to, in the words of Floyd Mayweather, I'm just trying to keep the playing field even. That's how he said it. That Floyd said it like that. I'm just trying to keep the playing field even.
And the safety of the sport.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like to clear that up.
Another fan put himself in Javant Davis's shoes, saying, "If I had someone like Calvin Ford do for me what he did for Tank, I'd be forever grateful to him, and he would never lack anything in his life." Meanwhile, another strongly condemned Davis's actions, describing him as heartless. "Tank is so wicked. I really can't be cool with someone like that. He's an ingrate despite everything Calvin did for him. And yet, he still calls Calvin his dad." Now, Calvin Ford has finally addressed the real issue behind their split. In a recent interview, he was asked deep, pressing
Tank does that, to get a eyebrow out of people. Like, you know how the Rock, when he put the eyebrow out, and he did get.
Well, it's always important to hear both sides of the story. However, if everything said is true, then Javant Davis may be a completely different person from the incredible boxer that Javant Davis once knew him as. Calvin Ford went on to discuss the events that led to their fallout, speaking about the sacrifices.
Yeah, everything just happened. And that's all I got.
Sadly, despite all his efforts, Ford has received nothing in return and has now given up on Tank entirely. This is why he appears determined to incriminate Javant Davis in any way possible. During a live interview, Calvin Ford revealed that there is more to Davis than meets the eye. While Tank has built the image of an unstoppable fighter with an impressive knockout ratio and a massive fan base, Ford claims that behind the scenes, there is a great deal of corruption. He further
What's going to happen?
Yeah, they're getting their excuse ready.
Say it again?
They're getting their excuse ready.
Come on.
They lose.
Come on. I just know this right now. Like, we ain't in the personal game, but again, we sending a message through him for the rest of them. He's playing boxing. They ain't giving him the real.
Hence, anyone who can resist Tank's bullying tactics is more likely to withstand his power. This was exactly what happened in his fight against Lamont Roach. Despite Tank's attempts to intimidate the Washington fighter, Roach outsmarted him. As a result, Davis began to falter and struggled to regain control. A similar situation occurred years ago when Von Davis faced Isaac Cruz. The relentless Mexican, Pitbull, endured Tank's psychological tactics and pushed him to go the full 12 rounds in what became one of the closest fights of Davis's career. Now,
bad. I heard him so bad with everybody leave out they said, gosh. And the rest of them behind this want to think about it. They don't give us our props. We don't want no props. We want to like show them this is boxing, right? We're going to show you. Hey, coach.
With these performance-enhancing medications, Von Davis gains a significant physical edge over his opponents, allowing him to absorb punches and lose early rounds without becoming overly fatigued. His remarkable endurance and strength, according to Calvin Ford, stem largely from the substances he takes before fights. For some reason, boxing's governing bodies have either failed to detect this or have chosen to ignore it. However, Ford is now bringing this to light so the public
go back to history. They did the same thing. That's why Leonard was like, they did the exact same thing. That's why Leonard said, we're the A side. They handle that. Our job is to handle the fighter. The fighter job is to handle the fight. So when he speak about his team, this is team right here.
Calvin, do you feel disrespected right now?
No, I feel disrespected for the shots that he shot. And they kept going with that same narrator from day one.
Calvin Ford is making these accusations because he is determined to put Von Davis in serious trouble and strip him of all his boxing accolades. He is now set on ensuring Davis suffers a major defeat in his next fight, and that fight is just around the corner. Following one of the most controversial boxing matches in recent memory between Von Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1st, the boxing community has been demanding a rematch. Fans and analysts
On an Eddie Hearn show? No, because I can't trust Eddie Hearn. You can't trust Eddie Hearn. You can't at all.
Why are you standing with Ryan Garcia over this? How can we stand with Ryan Garcia over the failed test?
See, another thing. You know why I'm backing around? Because a lot of boxers